everybody. Back for another video here. I've got a few things to show off today, none of which I really figured deserve their own video per se, but they're still sort of interesting enough whereas I figured they'd be still pretty interesting to see, so I figured I'd throw them all into one video, that way you can see them all. So if you're looking for like that giant primary weapon to ooh and ah, I'm not going to see it here. Alright, anyways. So, first thing I have showing off here is my modified Night Finder here. It's nothing too fancy. It's basically, the most important part of it's probably got a, it's got a draw extension, so you can probably see the plunger rod sticks in further than usual. I didn't do anything too fancy to do that. I simply just moved the plunger tube up in the shell, dremelled the crap out of the front right there, and then basically sunk like a ton of hot glue into here to stick the plunger tube in place, and then I stuck a coupler on the end here, and there you go, there you have it. So, yeah, and then I obviously minimized it as well, so that way it looks a bit cleaner. And I closed up the gap here. As you can see, that's just duct tape right here, so that's to make it look a little neater. But overall, I think actually it looks really nice, because it looks, especially for a draw extension, it looks pretty clean. So I tried to sort of color the theme here. You can see the paint colors as well, gold and black, obviously. I'm sure if you've seen any of my other videos, you might have seen me wearing some Purdue shirts. That's where I go to college, so basically, our colors are gold and black, so I figured I'd get all cute and school spirity and throw some gold and black on there and make it nice looking. So I think it turned out pretty well. I think it looks nice. Function-wise, it uses 6-inch barrels, so I've got like a speed loader right here, and its ranges are pretty decent, especially for a Night Finder. It's around 75 feet flattish, which is still sort of right around the upper threshold of a pistol. So. Works quite well. It seals quite well as well. Let's see. So, yeah, decent seal in there as well. Quite pleased with that. Yeah. Alright. So, moving on to the next thing is, you might see sitting here, is a modified Jolt. So, for any of you that have ever seen this before, this is the Nano Jolt mod that's, I believe, revision 5 was the first come up with. So, basically what I did was obviously cut down the normal barrel that would come out the side here, and instead made it sort of an inline, sort of streamlined look, in that it's got the coupler sticking up here and then a barrel right here. And the trigger setup, obviously before it's the sort of catch, it's not a catch spring, it's like a catch force or whatever, it's like a piece of plastic that bent and allowed it to catch. So what I've done is I've replaced it with a spring, so now it allows it to, it's still hinging on the same little bolt or pin, whatever that they put in there, but instead it uses a spring to guide it in the same way, sort of way as a snap works. Give you a close up, I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a spring inside there which pushes the trigger up and down. And so obviously this coupler that I stuck on front, I painted black, and the plunger rod I also painted black, only because originally the plunger rod comes like kind of a grayish, almost even brownish color. That always looked kind of weird to me. I always figured it looked really cool black, and so I did it, and I do think it looks really cool because now it's just sort of a strictly orange and black theme. I think it looks really nice. So the barrel on there is 3 inches. It's made for just basically stock darts. You can also fire Stephens, but mostly just for stock darts, so you can back convert them in there too. So yeah, it's for what it is, it actually works quite well. It fires around somewhere around like 45 feet flat, which is pretty impressive for a Jolt. I don't know how much the actual airflow helps in terms of redirecting it in a more forward direction, but I'm not. Maybe that might have something to do with why it fires so well. So, yep, pretty simple. Nothing too fancy. So. Anyways, the last thing I have to show is not a blaster. Actually, it's actually a sort of a loading mechanism, or what you would use to help load a hopper or an RSCB. Basically what I've done here is I've thrown a brass breech on top of my clip here. So how it works is, if you're using this in a hopper or an RSCB, you can open this up right here, and you can see there's a little slot in there, and you can toss darts in there, and you feed the darts in as much as you want until it's closed, or until it's full, and then you close it up, and now it's ready to go. It's sealed again. So what I used here was, this is obviously brass. The brass underneath is 1932 brass, and that actually fits very, very tightly inside of clear PVC, which has a slightly smaller inner diameter than regular half-inch PVC. So I was able to jam that in there, just super glued that in there. It's in there nice and snug, so that's not going anywhere, and it seals just fine. And then over that, it's 5/8 brass, which also has the added benefit of being able to fit with CPVC couplings, since CPVC has the same outer diameter as 5/8 brass. So you can see I stuck a T on there just to make it easier to grip this, so I can like twist it on and off, stuff like that. And then finally, I just put a little bit of this is actually like plastic cord on here, so that way it stops me from pulling this all the way off, so it can just open enough for the breech to open up in there. So yeah, it actually, I think personally it looks really cool too once you throw it onto a hopper here. So yeah, you can just have your hopper on like that, and then stick it on any old blaster that can take a hopper like so, and so there you go. It's all set up. And so if you want to load darts, yeah, you simply open it up, take some darts here, and feed them in. And I'm not going to fill it all the way to bore you, but you get the idea. The stuff is supplied, cleanly through the brass or whatever, and you can close it up, and then after that, it works. So, yeah, some of you might have noticed that I do have Stephens now. Before I pretty much used mainly Streamlines. That's still what I mainly use, but I started to decide to get into a little bit more of Stephan making for more of NIC purposes. And so, if anybody cares, this is foam bought off of Amazon from a supplier called like Shower Door Direct. They sell a 100-foot roll after shipping. It's around like $13. It's a great deal, really cheap for the amount of foam you get. And it's a pretty tight fit in CPVC. It's like a twist and fit, so it works really well for my setups. And yeah, I'd highly recommend that sort of foam to anybody that was looking to buy that type of foam. The only disadvantage is that it is a little bit dark, but other than that, it's fine. So yeah, that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, these little knickknacks that I got here. So yeah, thanks for watching.